He's the prime cut passer from behind the meat counter. It's Fairway Frank. And introducing a 6'3" center who's a cut above the rest. Say hello to 𝗺𝗲𝗱𝗶.
Bacon, exciting to chew. Bacon Fest, we're expecting you and love, Iowa bacon love.
Shinedown, Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Des Moines, Wells Fargo Arena, Friday, April 25th. I need your attention. With special guests, Beartooth and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at HighVTix.com. It's about to get heavy. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Two guys, two Chris's, one network. Iowa everywhere. It's time for Two Guys with Chris Williams and Chris Hassel. Presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery from the Channel Seed Studios. Where? Everywhere. Live and always on demand at Iowa Everywhere.
Matt's going to get us permanently banned from YouTube.
We just went from
Hello, friend.
the Shinedown ad. It's about to get heavy.
Welcome to the Masters.
Yeah, baby. Corner.
I'm about to shake this ball.
Can you imagine Kelderman walking around at Augusta?
Is it me or does Williams sound like he's way far away from
Pull
his
that mic up.
Jesus
Really?
Christ.
That far away, huh? Is that better?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was away from the mic because I was rocking. I was and I didn't want to overmodulate. That was.
You still sound low to me, but I'm sure Van Winks can fix it. I'm sure the master of manipulation can fix it.
This is why I don't get new equipment.
By the way, we're not going to talk much about the Masters, but
because
right now,
is it started?
As
already?
we come on the air, Zachary Johnson is on top of the leaderboard at 2 under through 4. Former Masters champ.
Real quick, yeah, we're not going to do a lot of Masters, but I would also like to promote the CW pod I did yesterday with.
I haven't heard that yet.
Rory, it won't date it. I just turned my mic up. That should help. The new Rory biography that's coming out in May, the author came on, and we just talked about Rory, like the sports character. I usually don't do these author things, because it's just such a niche thing, but I thought it really worked for this week, and the guy was awesome. He also has been in Iowa a lot and done a lot of he's done a lot of work on Bob Feller. So this guy knew our area, and it turned into a really fun CW pod. So that got posted.
It's not a fluff piece.
No, it's not.
I hope this
gets
into some of the darker aspects.
We talked about that, the live thing, and how Rory just can't ever make up his mind with anything. Good. And yeah, it was a really good interview. Rory, it's not like an official Rory biography. It's like the guy is off doing it on his own, which those are always the best. Why do you hate Rory McIlroy so much?
I don't hate him. I just
that was a really strong I think
he's
proud
a
of this.
hypocrite.
Well, yeah, and that's what we talked about.
I didn't like how strongly he came out against Liv, and then
I
all
brought
of a
you
sudden,
up
when it was clear that they were going to eventually link arms, he backtracked, and I didn't like how he reacted after blowing the U.S. Open last year. Just peeling out of the parking lot, didn't talk to anybody. That's one of the big talking points in golf circles right now is golfers who are either they blow an event or whatever, and then they don't talk to the media. And apparently, they don't have to,
Really?
which is a mistake. That the PGA Tour needs
Yeah, you got to build up these characters.
Make sure they all have to talk. Like in every other sport, NBA, NFL, you are accountable. You have to go meet the media afterwards.
Yeah,
in golf, you
absolutely.
don't. They need to change that rule.
Well, especially in a sport that is so drastically, they need these personalities. Like that's what gets people in that sport more so than anything. Like with football, yeah, it's nice if Patrick Mahomes has a good personality, but he doesn't have to have the personality, right? Like we're still going to watch.
Sure.
In golf, it's just directly correlated. You'll like this interview because that's what we talk about. Like this guy's from Ireland and stuff, so he's just followed Rory since he was like a teenager, but it's not like the official biography of Rory McIlroy. It's like the one that Shipnuck did on Phil.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I like that.
What I like about Rory McIlroy, and it's not even like, oh, I'm a huge fan. I just like how deeply flawed he is. Like,
well,
I compared
is.
it. Yeah, that's why I like it. And he just kind of wears it, and it's like, oh,
But
and then you kind of like him again, and then he steps in it again. It's kind of like Phil. Phil's the same type of character to me. They're
But
very similar.
I don't know that Rory wears it well. I think he tries to.
He's very insecure.
Yes, tries to hide it a little bit more than maybe some others. Like I'm all for embracing your flaws. I mean, remember all those years Tiger Woods, oh, he's the perfect guy. Yeah, no. And then all that came out, and it made him more human. It made him, and eventually he became likable again.
I think Rory had a really tough go, though. Like, so Tiger, the sex thing happens, and the divorce, and all that hits, and then, like, it was like golf and sports just wanted to pass the torch to somebody. Nobody else could just be Tiger, right?
No
It's
one
like
ever
all
will.
all of a sudden, Rory's like on the video game, like, and he really hadn't. He was good, but he hadn't. He wasn't that guy. And he just was handed that torch, and I think it jacked with him.
Yeah, nobody can be that guy. Nobody ever will be Tiger Woods.
And no matter what he did was going to be a letdown if his only comp was Tiger Woods at that time.
Tiger
There was
Woods,
no way he could live
the
up to
run from 97 to 2008 will never be duplicated again. And what he did for golf.
Yeah, and he's like single-handedly the reason the competition's so good now.
Yeah.
And all these guys look like NFL linebackers and not, my neighbor, the accountant with the huge ass. Goofy pants and the huge ass, right? Isn't that the Happy Gilmore line?
What? Like a guy with a huge ass?
No, it was from Happy Gilmore. You've seen Happy Gilmore, right?
Yes. And he's talking about a golfer with a man with a huge ass?
Yeah, it was like, he's like, the only way I'll ever wear pants like that, you got to have my neighbor, the accountant, he's got a huge ass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a line. Well, you can go and get some of that pimento cheese for your sandwiches at Fareway Meat and Grocery. I do know that they have it. I've bought it there because my mom is from South Carolina, loves the 𝗀𝗃𝗃, and that's a huge dish that they serve down there, the pimento cheese sandwich. It's a big deal. Not only at Augusta, but in the land of the 𝗀𝗃s.
And I would suggest if you do go to Fareway and get pimento cheese, you don't just put it on a sandwich and eat it. Like, you can put it on like a BLT or something. Like, do something good with it. Use it as a dip.
Yeah, I like the dip part. You get the the wheat thins that are the tomato basil wheat thins and the pimento cheese. That's like a meal. We are in the Channel Seed Studios. Yeah, that's probably all the master stock you'll get because when do they actually tee off? Have they already teed off?
They are teed off.
I just told you
Oh,
Zach
yeah,
Johnson is 2 under through 4 holes, you jackass.
Sorry.
By the way, if you're going to bet
I
on
was
the
all
Masters,
distracted with my microphone. Like, we're good. Everybody we just calm down. Fuck. What, Matt?
Circa Sports Iowa was the place to bet on the Masters. We all got our picks in.
Kind
So,
of.
Well,
I
some
picked
of them.
Rahm because
I picked like 6 different people.
I didn't think anybody else would pick him, and
Well,
because
that-
you get value on him. I mean, he's
Yeah.
17 to 1.
I
He's
would
got-
have picked
surprised
Rahm,
me.
but I thought everybody would pick him.
You thought everybody would pick Rahm?
Yeah.
See, I thought everybody would pick Scheffler and Rory. Did
Well,
none of our people picked Scheffler.
No, terrible value.
It is bad value. There's no doubt about that.
It's about to get heavy. Yeah,
So did everybody make a pick except Fails again?
Yeah.
Fails just will not participate. He refuses to participate in the team picks. I thought Murph's was hilarious.
Aberg?
Ludwig Oberg?
Oberg?
Murph's video where he picks Ludwig Aberg.
I'm surprised Keith knows anything about Ludwig.
I don't think he does. I think he just picked it because it's a funny name.
Because he has that thing above the A in his last name?
I think that's why Keith picked that. I picked Jordan Spieth, and I have no reason at all. Absolutely none.
You flip-flopped on your picks.
Well, I mean, come on.
Wait, so you picked one on
I had
the
to
slate
now,
here,
my
and you
guy.
picked a different one on your video?
Yeah, I'm
boy.
all over the place.
Well, I couldn't actually bet because I can't bet on Circa down here in Florida. So
You just got the Hard Rock down there. That's the only.
yeah.
Not that I've tried to bet in Florida before and would know that.
I'm serious though. All these tournament winner odds on Circa were way better than you'd find on the
It
other
really
guys.
is, Matt.
It's crazy.
You're usually by 100 points or so. This is where they really stand out. These individual type sports,
and that's where you can get value, even if you're playing these futures. Even if you put $10 on it, it's still a nice little.
I would
chunk.
suggest checking out the live lines, whether it's during a round or after a round. I have hit on way more of those than pre-tournament picks. The live
you can really
betting.
If you would have done that with Iowa State basketball home games this year, you would have made a lot of money.
Except the Kansas State game.
You know who else is in the field is that guy that used to golf at Iowa, and now he transferred. Remember, that was the big
oh yeah.
What was his name?
Yeah, they transferred down to somewhere in Florida.
Yeah, the one that the Swarm wanted to put all that money into.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
Allegedly, like $500,000 and a new free car, and that wasn't enough.
Noah Kent.
Yeah, and went down to somewhere in Florida.
Hey, before I forget,
Well, all those Drake basketball players appreciate saving a little money.
Kelderman sent me a picture the other day. Do you know who this is?
Is that guy who?
Is that your guy? Is that Williams' boy?
It's not
Wiseman?
Williams' boy. It does look like Wiseman. This is the guitar player from Shinedown. Kelderman texted me this the other day. Hey, put this on the show.
That's
You met the
cool,
guitar player
actually.
from Shinedown.
That's pretty cool.
He knows everyone.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, he's been following Aaron Lewis around on tour.
Kelderman is very, very, very upset about Williams for taking his kids to Snow Woke. He will not shut up about it in our group chat.
That's the most ridiculous. I was ranting to somebody else about that the other night about how stupid people's response is to that movie.
My wife heard Williams talking about that movie, and she decided to take my daughter to it that same on Monday. They said it was great.
Yeah.
And again, I realize I live in a bit of a hole. I would have never known all this stuff about it had our great followers on social media not blown my ass up last Friday. Is that why when I said in the group chat, hey guys, I'm going into Snow White, is that why you responded like, I can't believe you're taking your daughters to that movie?
Of course.
And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with Snow White? It's a Disney movie. Like if I would have said like, we're going to Dawn Bloodthirsty, and I'd be like, oh yeah, not kid appropriate. It's Snow White.
And after that, you took him to the library and had the drag queens read to him.
I was like, you think this is bad? Wait till tonight at 7:00 because it's about to get heavy. All right. Let's get to the Joshua Jefferson return video. Was great, but
What was that all about?
I don't know, but that one kind of got to me. It's like, what are we doing now? Like,
So the headline was "Block out the noise." ...
But you created the noise.
Who? Yeah, Josh did.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like, what are we blocking out, man? Like,
And then what was
not maybe even him, but his agent
joke?
or what?
It's
the
a
reason
clip
we're all
of the
doing
Joker
this,
saying that he's going to commit mass murder.
What does that mean, Matt? You're a man of the theater. Like, what is the Joker talking about here?
I mean, this was a part of the Dark Knight where the Joker like hijacks the TV broadcast and is threatening Gotham if Batman doesn't do something. So I don't know.
Well, this I believe was put out by the like team account too on Facebook. No, it wasn't. Okay, just
no,
Josh.
it was a different. I noticed that it was a different version that didn't have Joker.
Oh, okay.
In it. This was weird to me. And I know all these kids, they want to do something different.
They're all putting out like
everybody else.
I'm back.
But this
like
doesn't this doesn't scream I'm back until the very end. Like I had no idea what it meant until the very end of the video, like 2 minutes in, it says on the screen I'm back.
But he already said he was coming back in the locker room at the NCAA tournament.
Right. But then he wasn't.
I think this was the key line that he was going for at the very end when he said,
"Starting tonight, I'm a man of my word."
That I'm a man of my word.
Wait.
He said he was going to be back, so he's
okay. So he wasn't a man of his word originally, because he originally said he was coming back, but then he said, "No, I'm not coming back unless you give me a lot more money." And then he got his monies, maybe $1.5 million or so. Maybe more than doubled his salary because someone else wanted him. And now he'll be a man of his word from now on.
Good on him.
Yeah, I mean, look.
It's supply and demand. There's not a lot of
if that's
6'11"
what you're worth,
dudes that can dribble. And, he's probably worth more than whatever Iowa State's paying him, I would imagine. But I'm just I'm good on the re-announcements. Like, let's just play ball. But,
well, he did know that a lot of people were concerned that he was going to leave.
Yes.
Did know that.
And he made a splash, so.
Is Bloom ever going to come back? Like, Bloom left before all this started, went to another country.
I don't know what Bloom's doing.
And he's still gone.
I was sent a picture. He was at a toga party the other night.
Is he having a midlife crisis?
No. He was with his wife. It's not like he's out gallivanting around.
Gallivanting?
Yeah.
Is he at one of those swingers resorts?
No.
Big Papa says it was so much money Bloom had to go to his offshore bank to get a cashier's check.
He's in Barbados.
I think the Blooms might be coming back today. So then, we had this whole deal yesterday. There's this gas leak at my kid's school. And because the Blooms are gone, and I was looking for Bloom's kid. Thank God his beautiful mother-in-law was there to pick her boy up. So I almost grabbed his boy.
Wait, they left their kids behind?
Well, yeah, they're not at this deal.
It definitely is a swingers resort then. No question.
I can assure you it's not, because I don't want that getting tossed. Bloom's taken so many freaking strays already on social. I'm not going to let that.
Our chat is on fire tonight. Bloom's out trying to sell pizzas in the Caribbean.
Got to sell a lot of pizzas to keep 𝗀cie Jefferson. No, it's all good. Like I want to be clear. Like as I explained, the market's different for Jefferson now than it was when they lost in the NCAA tournament.
Right.
And his agent and his people were trying to maximize his value. And that's what happens. This is not, in my opinion, a problem with 𝗀cie Jefferson or any decisions that his people made. It's the system and the way the whole thing is set up.
Yeah.
Right. But it allows, I don't know.
What's stopping him from doing it again?
There's nothing.
This weekend.
He could do that. Any of these guys could do that. Bennett Sturtz could do that.
Yeah.
If he wanted to. Like, if he wanted to go and test the market, like, whatever, he's going to get paid from Iowa. But whatever he could probably get more later on in the process and being like, hey, I'm a free agent. Somebody would outbid Iowa. I promise.
That's a good point, Williams. The later you get in the process, the fewer people are in in the transfer portal that are unaccounted for, and teams will still have major needs. And maybe if the later you go in,
yes,
the
they get
more
desperate.
you're worth.
Like this Kansas State kid that went in the portal yesterday.
Hausen?
Yeah. 3-point shooter. Like
Come
he's
to
worth
Iowa, baby.
He's worth more now than he was 2 weeks ago.
I really hope Iowa can land.
Oh, I don't want that kid because he's proven he can make shots in Hilton Coliseum, and y'all come to Hilton.
Exactly. Because
I don't want
remember
that
he
kid.
stood out to me during that game at Hilton because
He was unbelievable that night.
I think Kansas State was building their lead early second half, and they're up 16. He gets it 35 feet out, chucks it, splash, and then just throws his arms up and looks to the crowd like, what are you going to do?
He was unbelievable that night. I don't want that kid going to Iowa. Did you see that your boy, John Fanta, he had his preseason top 25 out and had Iowa at number 25?
I love it. He knows. He knows. Ben McCollum is a genius.
You guys are just setting yourselves up here. This is terrible news.
I was told that Todd Golden called Ben McCollum at halftime of the national championship game and said, Coach, what can we do?
That's funny because I heard about the calls
smoked.
that John Wooden used to make to Ben McCollum, preconceived Ben McCollum. He would call McCollum's parents and be like, talk to basketball Jesus in your womb. I need tips.
It is funny, though, that he has him 25th.
In the 90s,
Iowa
Phil
only has
Jackson,
about 7 guys on their
I was going to say, he's basically putting Drake in the top 25.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson would call a 11-year-old Ben McCollum for tips on team chemistry.
Ben McCollum taught Phil Jackson and Ted Winters the triangle offense.
Did you call him Ted? Isn't it Tex?
Tex, yeah, you're right. Thank you. Tex.
Do you see the other
Old
rankings
Tex.
that came out yesterday?
No. Which ones?
The what rankings?
The best team in the country combined between football, men's basketball, and
No,
I believe
no,
that's
no.
Big 12 only.
It's
man.
Big 12, not
Oh,
country.
crap.
Jesus,
I
Van
got
Wings.
duped. Well, still. Best
Look
in
at
the
that,
conference.
number one.
But here's the so you add up the football winning percentage, the men's basketball winning percentage, the women's basketball winning percentage, and Iowa State was the only team to win more than 70% of their games, almost 74% of their games. But I know that there are Iowa State fans sitting there today feeling like all 3 of those seasons were disappointments.
I was talking about this on I had a mailbag Cyclone Fanatic podcast yesterday. Looking back, so that percentage is what it is. A lot of talk in the offseason about how this is like the most anticipated year in Iowa State history. And I think if it wasn't the most, I mean, it's 2 or 3, top 2 or 3. The amount of injuries that think back to football, that feels like an eternity ago, like on the defensive side. And they still won 11 games.
And
And then you factor in the men's like it's really incredible that they were as good as they were. Like if you would have told me leading into football what their injury situation would have been, I'd have said 7-5.
yeah, probably at best.
Yeah, like really.
Yeah, that football season, I don't want to hear it from any fans who are disappointed with the way
That was
that
a great
season ended. Come on. I mean, Jesus. You went 10-2. You went to the was it 10-2 or 10-3? You went to the Big 12 championship game.
They won 10. Yeah.
You were right there for a playoff spot. You started, the undefeated run was great. Yeah, the schedule set up in your favor, but you took advantage of it. But I will say, there is no way you can look at either the men's or the women's basketball seasons and not say they were disappointments. I don't care about the injuries. Yeah, fine, but they were both disappointing.
I think you've said it well. That injuries are part of the disappointment. Like that.
Yeah,
that all lumps together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like Imagine
that's fair.
If you would have told Iowa State fans back in the fall that they wouldn't get to the second weekend of the tournament, they wouldn't even make the Sweet 16.
Absolutely.
That they
No
wouldn't
doubt.
even challenge Ole Miss in the second round of the tournament.
Yeah, I don't have any way to rebut that. But I just like looking back at it now that there's some separation. It really is wild, like how bad it was, as far as the injuries go for all the women's team. Like they lost Mackenzie Hare, but that's not an excuse.
Yeah, that was a top 10 preseason team.
Well,
and they didn't even make it out of the round of 64.
Cheryl Swoops, she's a big JT_Williams fan. I just said that because she's the one who's always criticizing Caitlin Clark. Probably went over that of most people. Isn't she the one who, like, Caitlin would score like 60 points and she'd be like, yeah, well, I would have scored 62.
Yeah.
She's just nasty all the time. All right, so I brought up the top 25 thing for Iowa only to ask this, like, and that is just one national guy's opinion. That's not my question. It's hard to do this because we don't even know who's going to be on the team.
Right.
Okay. What? Because I mean, you are really hyped about this guy, and rightfully so. I think. Is the NCAA tournament like your goal next year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear that because that's what life should be in basketball in 2025.
Yeah. I mean, look what TJ did in his first year at Iowa State after an 0-19 season.
Yeah.
In the
Good.
Big
I'm glad
12
to
the
hear
year
that.
Before.
I thought you were gonna be like, oh,
No.
that's awesome.
That is what I think Iowa fans should expect year one.
I did not expect to see them in any of these preseason top 25s, and that's all because of the coach.
All of it.
Because we don't know any
it's
of
the
these
coach
players.
and
Bennett
you
Stewart.
have
Yeah.
a legit potential All-American at point guard.
Yep.
I've been looking at a lot of mock drafts recently. He might be a lottery pick in next year's NBA draft.
Well, Ben
he's
said
showing
that
up
when
in
I
the
interviewed
teens. Yeah, he's showing up in the teens of a lot of draft mock drafts for the 26th season.
Ben said this in my interview with him, but that's a 30 for 30 story. Like the D2, like on it, if he becomes that, really an incredible story.
And it's going to be different for him, obviously. It's one thing to play 5 power conference teams all season and beat most of them like Drake did. It's another to play 25 power conference teams in a season and be able to have a successful season and sustain things. And the way 𝗀ance plays, 40 minutes a game, is that going to be different in the Big Ten? I don't know. But my baseline expectation is that this team is at least right there on the bubble and maybe getting into the NCAA tournament in year one. And they've got a lot of work to do in the portal. They've got the biggest piece in Bennett 𝗀ance. But they have to start winning some of these battles because they've whiffed on several portal targets to this point. And that's not unexpected. I mean, when you're going up against teams with, that can pay a guy 4 times what you're offering, what are you going to do? But I think that McCollum is a different coach where you don't necessarily need X guys to be able to win games. I think he can win games with rosters that don't have nearly as much talent as the teams he's playing against.
Now, the challenge, in my opinion, my very unbiased opinion here, it's easier to win with scheme and stuff the lower the level is.
Sure.
So his challenge now, well, to your point, and I agree with you, let's say how many teams are in the Big Ten?
18.
18? Okay. Let's say you have the 11th best roster or 10th best roster. I think that McCollum's good enough to get him to like 6th in that league. Where, let's say in the Valley, you have the 5th best roster. it's a lot easier to get you to number one because the difference in 1 versus 15 isn't that much. What his challenge will be long term, I'm not talking early, and I think this is where most fans, I hope, are like, yeah, Iowa State went to the Sweet 16 in year 1 under 𝗀𝗡lberger, but that wasn't a very good team. It was just, right, like they...
Yeah. But see, that's how I feel like McCollum, the way he coaches, you just get in.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a chance in these tournament settings, especially when you have a point guard like Bennett 𝗀𝗏𝗏 in year 1. If you just get in, you've got a shot.
To finish my point, I think Ben's biggest challenge in this whole thing will be to get I agree with you that I think he can start going to tournaments, but it's just like then your fan base wants more, and then you got to get up to that next level, and that's always the biggest jump to take.
And I mean, you look at some of the first-year coaches and like Dusty May at Michigan, and I know Michigan is different than Iowa. A lot more money. But they won 8 games the year before Dusty May got there, and he takes him to the Sweet 16. Like, this is a different age in college basketball where you can turn things around instantly.
Absolutely.
With a completely turned over roster.
Go get that Kansas State kid.
Yeah, that's a start. That's a start in the portal.
That
and
bitch.
Listening
he can
to
shoot.
Legends and Listeners this morning, 𝗙𝗏𝗍𝗍 says that McCollum said that there's a big name coming. There's a big get coming. And could happen as soon as today. It sounds like it's imminent. And I don't know who it is, but it sounds like it's a younger guy. I don't know if that means high school, freshman. It's not JT Toppin, we know that, because he just got $4 million, according to our Matt Norlander at CBS, $4 million to come back to Texas Tech for one more season.
That's like $4 million more than Fran ever had to deal with NIL, if you listen to the Fran sympathizers out there.
But that's one guy getting $4 million. 𝗙𝗏𝗍𝗍 at BYU is getting, what, $7 million as a freshman coming in?
Yeah, that was the report.
It's insane. I mean, we were talking just last year. I mean, Iowa was between 1 and 1.5 million. Iowa State was probably around 2. Now Iowa State's putting probably close to everything from last year into one guy. That's how much this thing is rising by the year in basketball.
I'm telling you, economically, in this business, it makes no sense.
Well,
the basketball thing.
No, it doesn't make sense for anybody. It doesn't even make. Why would a booster? I mean, unless you're just an absolute fanatic, what do you get in return? I've heard Andy Fales talk about this on Murph and Andy. When you make a donation to a school, you get tax write-offs. You get like a building. You know, there's something tangible there. This is just like gone in a year. And 20% of it's going to an agent.
Well, in theory, like there's nothing making the kid play either.
No.
Like they could just shut it down.
Yeah, nothing keeping them from opting out.
Oh, we've lost 4 in a row. I don't want to do this anymore.
Mm-hmm. And then we got this house settlement thing that hasn't been settled yet.
Look at Kansas State last year. And the amount of NIL dollars that they spent on that roster to not make the NCAA tournament. And now
a couple million on one guy.
Yeah. And now, like, Jerome Tang went from being, like, the man down there to fans can't stand him. Like, all that stuff, that cute stuff about, you know, dancing in the crowd and doing all that stuff, when you start to lose and now you're, to your point and Andy's point, like, you've gone to the money people so many times. I need this. I need this.
I don't know how long
that
can last. Big Papa asks, is the cap really going to be $21 million per school? No way you can pay one kid these kind of dollars going forward unless they skirt the system like the old days. Well, what I've been saying, and I still believe it, is that, yeah, there's going to be a potential cap for the athletic department to pay, but I think they're going to get donors and fans to pay on top of it, because you're right. Like, how are you going to get – there's no way these guys are going to be taking pay cuts now after – I mean, the cat's out of the bag.
The only thing that if I think that there's some sort of language in like the BYU kid that's getting the $7 million where it's like that's a one-time signing bonus type thing.
Yeah, but you really think Duke is only going to be able to put $5 million into their men's basketball roster?
Duke will be different than most. Like Duke will probably they'll go half and half with football. But again, like this is where like if you're
okay, what about let's go Kentucky? You really think Kentucky's only going to put $5 million into men's basketball? No,
that was part of the reason why they had.
There's no way that they're not also going to go to the fans for extra money.
From what I understand, like if I'm not arguing with you, Chris. I'm telling you like what they're saying the rules will be.
Yeah, but that's not going to be the it's. And we've already this settlement has not gone through yet. It was supposed to go through on Monday. It's been delayed because there's all kinds of other lawsuits.
There's too many lawyers involved now, and everybody wants their billable hours, and like there's too many bad actors. It's not just the lawyers. There's agents. It's the same problem we've always had with college athletics. So you look at it and you go, well, these conferences are stupid. Why is Washington traveling to like none of it makes sense. But the problem is nobody out there cares about the greater whole. Everybody always just thinks about themselves.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, it doesn't matter if it's at your workplace, if that's in your family. If there's nobody looking out for the greater whole of everybody, we're always going to run in circles and continue to bury ourselves in society. And that's what college athletics has had a problem with for decades. This isn't just now. The Big Ten looks out for the Big Ten. The SEC looks out for the SEC. Nobody cares about the little guy. And the problem is they're going to start to eat their own soon, I promise you. Ohio State really doesn't care that much about Iowa. I'm sorry. Like, they can do the whole, wow, we've been in conference for 100 years. Yeah, nobody gives a shit at the end of the day. They just don't.
No.
The Rose Bowl fought the playoff for 50 years just because of their fucking parade. Okay? Like, oh, we got to keep the sunset. We have to keep – they fought the entire growth of the sport. Like, you want to look at a lot of these problems we're having right now, you can go to Pasadena, like in Jim Delaney, and that's where it all started. And like, we got stuck in mud for 25 years. So it's like, no, I don't blame Joshua Jefferson. He's got one opportunity to make this money, and it's legal, and – if they're offering you $3 million and you're going to get $500,000, like, yeah, you probably should be compensated more.
Yeah, but so should all the players from 10 years ago and 15 years ago and 20 years ago. And now they're all coming to the table. Like, what the hell's going? What is this all about?
You know what we're not even thinking about with all this money too is like, not half, but a little less than half of this money is going to be taxed too. It's like, they're not getting $4 million on the table. Like, they got to pay taxes on.
Yeah,
this
I
stuff
hope that they're having these conversations.
They should have
with
to pay
players.
taxes. Absolutely.
Yeah, I really.
That's my biggest. Not what Matt just said, but I hate it when, like, for the longest time, fans and like these administrators would be like, "Well, what are they going to do about taxes? They're going to pay their." Well, yeah, like every other effing person who's got to have a job in high school. Yeah,
that was one of the pushbacks on making them employees.
Yeah, okay.
How are they going to pay tax? Just like everybody. Yeah, a lot of people have jobs when they're 16 and they pay taxes.
If you're a sophomore in college and you work at Target, you have to pay taxes on that income. What the hell is playing basketball any different? Like, it drives me nuts when people say that.
Yeah.
They're basketball players. It's fine. That's their job. That's their college job. They can still go to school and play basketball at the same time. So mad about this. At some point, I'm going to quit caring about this crap, but it's not here yet. Now
Caring
I just
about
raised
what?
the business
College
side of
sports?
all this. No, not college sports.
That's my worry. It is going to push people away.
Well, it's going to push people away, but it's already, honestly, like, I went off to you last Thursday on this show. Like, the tension was building within me on that day. And now I'm kind of just like, F it. Like,
That's why Bloom left the country.
Just got the hell out of here. But that's why I'm conflicted, because I don't blame the coaches for trying to keep their players and spending these exorbitant amounts of money, because they have one job.
Well, yeah,
and
you
that's
have
win.
to.
Yeah, you have to evolve or you die. And I don't blame the players for trying to get theirs. I blame the people 40 years ago in the ritzy hotel down in Florida when they're sitting around planning all this stuff. That's who I blame. Or I should have said the boardroom in Pasadena.
Yeah, but it's getting exponentially worse by the year. And I don't know how we stop the spread, if you will.
I have a really outrageous take on this, but I'm going to save it for another day because we're running low on time. Okay. A really outrageous take that would set off fireworks.
Well, make the take. We don't have. We're a different kind of show. We don't need to follow any kind of rundown.
Well, can we thank a couple of sponsors,
Sure.
And then I'll do
Sure.
the 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 yesterday.
They fertilized your seed.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, the grass.
Oh, the grass.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a special message from the 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. You want to hear it?
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah.
Mom, Dad's being weird again.
Luscious.
Honey,
So full.
it's just grass.
Oh, it's so much more than just grass. It's a healthier, greener, and more luscious lawn. Yours can be too.
Look at you.
With 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 Brothers Lawn Care.
Remember, no shoes on the lawn. Because you're so beautiful.
Call or click today.
Was that you after 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃s laid their seed?
That's Josh Waffleholtz.
I was
know that
thinking the
guy.
same thing. Didn't he work at 𝘀𝗃𝗃𝗃 like 15 years ago?
He was the high school football guy. He's just orgasming all over his lawn right
Yeah,
now.
now he's got his hands in his pants looking out the window at his luscious lawn from 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃.
Thank you for that, Matt. Yeah, they put my fertilizer on yesterday. Ready to roll. And then we got a little rain this morning. Perfect timing. Thank our friends at Freedom Tire as well. Remember them. You got the big summer road trips coming up. Get your service done. Don't be that person that goes in like 6 months late. You have zero oil left. Don't be that guy. Freedom Tire. Shout out to our guy Quentin and his team. And also our friends at Game Day Men's Health. Wearing my Game Day Men's Health ball cap today. See that?
Yeah, yeah.
I got to go and get a tee shot right when we get off the air.
Oh, I thought
before
you
head
did
up
that on
games.
Mondays.
Got a little delayed. I'm on Thursday time now.
Uh-oh. You might be
I
low
like
on
to
tea
have-
today.
No, I like to be high. Yeah, I am. I like to be high tea for the weekend.
Oh.
I've learned that. I want to be as high a tea as possible on Saturday night.
Oh.
Game Day Men's Health.
Mallet Meyer says he's heading to game day tomorrow for his free consultation and to get tea tested.
Nice job, Mallet. I love it. If you're going in, if anyone in there today, say hi to me. I'll be in there right after the show. No, I think that, so if we're professionalizing sports.
Is this your big take here?
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
not even, I want to preface this. I don't even think it's a take. I think it's something that we reasonably should talk about.
Okay.
What do we always brag about with college sports in our state? Well, we don't have a pro team.
Yeah.
This is pro sports for us. Our fans really care. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one way I think the fans will really stop to care, we can talk about all this other stuff. The one way they're going to really stop to care is if the teams suck.
Yeah, if they're putting a bunch of their own money into it and the team suck.
Correct. I could make the argument, and spare me because I know where this is going to go. I understand the flaws in this argument, especially when we've got trade wars and inflation and all this stuff. Like there's other stuff for the government to worry about. I get it. I completely agree with you. It's an economic investment in our state that these teams are good.
Yeah. Are you going to say that the government should pay these players?
No, that's not exactly what I'm saying, but I'm saying we put money into pro sports stadiums and because of the economic value, right? Mm-hmm. How much economic value do Iowa and Iowa State athletics bring to our state?
A lot.
And if you're going to just let them go to shits because we just can't afford to compete with Ohio State, like I don't think it's as easy as taxpayers' money go to Bennett Sturtz's pocket. Like there's got to be somewhere, but maybe you allow, maybe the regents allow more university dollars to just go into the athletic department to fund, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. But what I'm saying is if all of a sudden Iowa and Iowa State football suck, and it's only because they don't have as much money in our state as competition, that would be really bad for everybody.
Yes.
How would it work? I don't know. I'm saying maybe we should have the conversation.
Where does all of that money that they make off students go?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Like
everybody always talks about how broke they are, and I'm like, where are you putting it?
Yeah,
like,
what is it? They put it into like the art building. What? I mean, I know they have to pay salaries and all that, but colleges make a ridiculous amount of money. That's why I lived with not the priest, but my grandpa for 2 years in college. Both years I saved $10,000 at St. Ambrose. Because I didn't pay room and board. And that was 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the money going? How is it being, yes, use some of that. I like that idea, Williams.
I'm just like, there's got to be a way.
You keep hiking up tuition. Use some of that money to pay the players. Because what's different about...
and then you don't have to ask the fans for it.
Yes. So what's different about these professional sports that you know, oh, well, it's professional sports now. That's what you have to do. No. We're not paying these pro players' salaries. The fans aren't paying the players' salaries in professional sports. The owners are.
Yeah, and the owners make the money off of the fans, and they can choose how much to put back into the team.
Yeah, what more do professional sports fans do for their team than college sports fans do? They buy merchandise, they buy tickets. The only difference is now college sports fans have to pay their own players. Or their team sucks.
On top of the merchandise, on top of the parking, on top of the tickets.
So is this going to drive more people to professional sports?
It does me.
Because you're not being asked to pay Minnesota Vikings players their salary.
No. I mean, I can be just as big of a Vikings fan and sit on my
couch. You don't have to pay a goddamn thing to be a Vikings fan.
Correct.
Other than your cable bill, I guess, to watch them on TV.
Again, like, I'm not saying the taxes that come out of your paycheck will go to fund the Iowa quarterback, or there's got to be a way. Like the people, I'm getting some feedback on this, which I expected. You want to, like, this is an economic conversation. Talk to the people who own restaurants and hotels and everything near Iowa City and Ames. I would love to know the economic value of Iowa and Iowa State football alone. Forget about basketball for a minute. The economic value of those two programs to the state of Iowa. And if all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're going to be relegated to like D2 because neither of them make a super league, it'd be really bad for our state.
It would. I'm with you. I think that the schools, including the athletic department, should pay for all of it.
Yeah, and it's like, whatever, like maybe, right, let's say the House thing goes through, and it's $22 million, and it's going to be on that escalator. It's going to be $30 million in 10 years. Like, maybe it's just, you can take of university funds and you have to max that out. We are going to make it as a state because we value these programs and we know what they mean to. And I guarantee that Iowa and Iowa State football economically are worth a lot more than $30 million to the state of Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
We as a state believe that giving these programs the absolute, maximum dollars we can to be competitive. And then it's up to the school, right? And it's like, then it's the athletic director. If the coach isn't doing a good job, if the GM, and it would require transparency, which I've been calling for. Like, have a freaking press conference and tell us where you're allocating the money.
And stop hitting up fans for even more. I'm so sick of it.
And you'll get more people to go to games because they're not having to pay the players now. It's going to drive the cost down to everything. Ticket values will go down. Parking will go down.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I think that's a good idea, Williams.
So Bryce says, and I'll push back on this, Bryce. You're not wrong here, but Bryce says on the chat, sorry, Matt, technically the fans pay the professional athletes by buying team merchandise, subscribing to YouTube TV, all that stuff.
But that's exactly what the college fans do too.
It's a business though. And I grew up an hour from Kansas City, okay? And I know what the fans were paying that franchise and what the franchise was choosing to put back into the team. That's if the Minnesota Vikings don't want to pay a quarterback, they don't have to. Right? And then the fans have the power to not go to the games and to not support it. And that's just how this whole thing works. It's a business. We've had this farce that college sports aren't a business for our entire lifetime. They are, and never more so than now. I'm telling you guys, give me 2 years of Iowa and Iowa State at 2-10. People aren't going to games. People aren't staying in a hotel. It's not good for this state. You have to find a way to get creative to stay at that level.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think of all the money that would be gone instantly.
And just hitting up the rich people in these fan bases and hey,
that's not
buying
gonna last.
The pizzas and beers is fun. And it's do that for 20 years. It will wear on people.
Yeah.
It probably already has. I'm just trying to find a solution that could work long term. I don't even know if what I'm saying is legal right now, but make it legal is my point.
Let's put it in writing right now.
These other states like Tennessee and Arkansas, they've done stuff. Missouri, they've all done stuff in their legislations to allow university money to go to these players. Why aren't we doing it? We need it more than they do. Maybe not Arkansas. They really need it. Well, they got Walmart.
And it's one school. It's Arkansas. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Iowa's got two.
Two good ones, too, that are competitive and do well.
Iowa State plays Arkansas State in football this year. Don't forget about them.
Yeah, Arkansas State doesn't count.
The Red Wolves.
Matt,
what's
Keith
coming
Murphy
up?
would say, the Red Wolves.
Matt, what's up at I have Iowa Event Center coming up. Do we have anything this weekend?
It's about this weekend. I don't know. Nothing really. Let me double check their website. Did I tell you that Iowa Event Center has a new website?
No.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, check it out. IowaEventCenter.com. Let's see. This weekend. Oh, jeez, I forgot about this. Monster Jam.
I love Monster Jam. Man,
April
I might try
12th.
to get a lease to that.
April 13th.
See,
we love monster trucks.
Please tell me that you'll put ear plugs in her
Oh,
ears.
hell no. I'm not raising no wussy. We go to
there's-
NASCAR race she's going with me
Yeah,
down
but at
to-
least NASCAR and dirt track, it's outside. This is indoors. Monster trucks revving their engines.
It's just like lifting weights. You want to train your body so it gets stronger. That's what you want to do to your eardrums.
That's not how eardrums work.
3
It's a
shows.
muscle.
We got Saturday, 2 shows Saturday, and 1 Sunday afternoon. Nice.
I might take Elise on Sunday. I think she'd think that's pretty freaking awesome, man.
That reminds me, Williams, what was the story I asked you to share from your daughter from yesterday?
Yeah. Okay, so it's been an eventful week. I'm just laying it all out there for everybody. So our church made a big announcement on Sunday that they would now there's no opposition to same-sex marriages in our church, and they can start to have weddings there, and it was this big deal. And Cameron heard me, and I was like on the phone talking to my mom about, I don't know who I was talking to. I was talking to somebody about this. And she was riding in my truck. Cameron's 10, by the way. She's 10. Matt knows her well. 10 going on like 25. Like she studies like presidents. She's the smartest 10-year-old you know. She's a great kid. And she says to me last night, "Yeah, that's great, Dad, that the same-sex marriage." She's like, I'm really happy about that. And she goes, "It would have really confused me a couple years ago until I figured out what being gay meant." And I was like, "How did you?" Because I don't think I ever talked to her about it. It's just she just kind of like knew. I figured she learned it at school or something. And she goes, "Yeah, I was watching that Gerald Ford skit on YouTube, and then I didn't know what he meant when he goes, 'I'm Gerald Ford and I'm gay.'"
Gerald Ford had today, and I'm gay. Hey, who put that in there?
She goes, "I had to look that up, and that's how I found out what being
That's
gay
amazing.
was." And
one of the greatest skits in SNL history from like 30 years ago.
And it was like that brief moment where like, am I a bad parent or an amazing one?
So she heard that skit, and then what? She Googled gay?
What does it mean to be gay?
Do kids have access to, like, they can Google whatever they want like that?
Yeah. I mean, and like you got to look at like YouTube is like basically a search engine these days. So she probably went on to YouTube.
I'm going to go to Google right now and put in, what does it mean to be gay?
Gerald Ford
pops up.
Dead today at 84, eaten by wolves.
Gay is an
The red
adjective
wolves.
that describes people who are primarily emotionally, romantically, physically, and or spiritually attracted to people of the same gender.
It's about to get heavy in the comments.
Gay is not used as a slur and is no longer considered slang.
Well, and remember, it used to be means you were happy. Like all those old Christmas songs talk about being gay.
Kenny Mayne used to say that on SportsCenter. We've talked about this. Like if somebody hit a walk-off home run, he would say, "And the fans are gay in Atlanta." The fans are excited for the walk-off home run. They made him stop that about 20 years ago.
No, it was just so random. Like that, it's a good.
If there was ever a way to
these...
learn what gay is as a kid, watching the Gerald Ford SNL skit is right up there at the top.
It's a great lesson too, Matt, that those kids are always listening. They're always paying attention.
I don't know. I don't remember how I learned what gay was. It was probably like an older kid in the neighborhood was probably calling people gay, and so I asked.
We were
asked my parents.
Our generation,
what that meant.
like the slang terms that we would use, and you just walk up and down the halls in high school, and
I was in high school when they made the decision to start punishing people for calling other people gay. I was a senior in high school. Like up until senior year, you could just walk around. Oh, that's gay.
Oh, we never got the crackdown on that.
We got it senior year though. So then we started calling people yag, gay backwards. This was 2002, 2003.
And the teachers probably didn't know what that was. Yeah, we never got shockingly down in Clarinda. They never gave us the crackdown.
They still haven't had the crackdown in Clarinda.
Yeah, that was funny. Gerald Ford was eaten by a wolf.
And I'm gay. Hey!
My interviewing Eric Henderson on Tuesday.
What?
By the way,
you did interview him?
No, this upcoming Tuesday. We're doing a sit down. Going to Drake.
You're going to Drake?
Yeah.
With like a camera crew?
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Oh, will you please wear those same bedazzled jeans that you wore for the Caitlin Clark interview? Label says it's Wednesday, by the way, next Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday. Thanks, John.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny.
Check this out, though. Bryn put this together. Jake Bryn put this together. When he got hired, I told you guys, like, the basketball will come and go, but I promise you're going to love this guy. Like, he's just a great dude. Bryn put together, this is just from his 30-minute press conference as he got introduced this week.
And obviously still have a great relationship with him today when he's not stealing my players. So, just kidding. It happens. But he did, kind of kidding, haha. Probably from Coach McDermott, don't listen to your wife. About basketball only, I should say. I got to clear that up because they'll have plenty of ideas about your team. About basketball only. Remember, basketball only. Everything else, you can make all the decisions. Got a few players to find too. I think we can play a game today. We got 5 or 6, so maybe even a sub out there, so we're in good shape. But everybody says I'm a great teammate. Well, I'll tell you why. Because I couldn't score. So I had to, if I wanted to get on the floor, I had to be a great teammate. I see Coach Lehman here. He was at UNO at that time. He would understand. He would probably echo that statement. Darren, I know very well. He's a little older than me. He was my AAU coach, so we can call him an old fogey. But that
was just a
lots of energy.
Oh, he's the best.
The best thing I heard from that press conference was from yesterday's Murph and Andy. They had a clip from Brian Harden, and he said something that I hadn't thought about. One of the reasons why they hired him was they looked at what he did at South Dakota State, following 2 great coaches who put the program in a great spot. And TJ was the last one to do it. TJ followed. I can't remember who the guy was before TJ. But then Henderson came in, and the program didn't drop off. And that's exactly what he's looking to do at Drake, because he had Darren DeVries, he had Ben McCollum. Now you have a coach who has proven that he can take a program that has now risen thanks to a couple great coaches and keep it there and maybe even improve.
Yeah, it was a really I went to the press conference, and it was impressive how many people were there. Like, just people from the community, and Drake's got a good thing going on as far as their base goes, though. Like, it's very engaged right now.
As they should be.
Yeah.
First,
and there's a lot of talk that they want to be the next Gonzaga. Like, that's what
first round of 32 appearance since 1971.
Yep. So that's coming up next week. And that's pretty much it. I got the size trivia this weekend.
Oh, Van Winks is pissed at you for not inviting him. Pissed.
There's going to be just... Remember last year?
Van Winks carried your table last year.
That guy is puking in his hands running to the...
And you didn't invite him this year.
It's about to get heavy.
And now you're just totally avoiding the whole thing.
Yeah, last year Williams drank too much and was in the pisser during like the country music section.
Not true. I didn't drink that much.
Who's emceeing it? Do Keith and Andy still MC that thing?
Andy and Spopker.
Spopker is the MC?
Keith is going to be out of town this weekend, so Andy and Sipker are going to be there.
Oh, right.
No, it's a great event. They've done an awesome job with that over the years.
Yeah, it's just too bad Matt won't be able to join.
You guys are such dicks.
Hey, I'm not the one that... It's Matt's the one that's pissed.
Cheers to the freaking weekend, boys.
I've never been to
You're not welcome.
House.
You're too...
Cheers to the freaking weekend. Let's raise our glass of Steeple Ridge bourbon.
You know, I heard when Jamie Pollard organized and came up with the idea for Size House of Trivia, he actually called Ben McCollum.
Ben's like, we've been doing this at Northwest Missouri State, and I think it'd be a great fundraiser for... Hey, do they sell alcohol at... they sell alcohol at Hilton for this?
Oh yeah.
Wait, Pollard is going to allow a bunch of slobs on that hardwood?
There's slobs all over the place at Size House of Trivia.
It's free. Well, you pay. I mean, you're paying for
free.
it.
Nothing's free, Matt. Get that out of your head right now.
Yeah, you got to raise
they
some
charge
extra
a lot of money to get into that.
Ames Lager, Busch Light.
And then the hard stuff you got to buy. Like that's a cat.
You're saying the Ames Lager is free once you get there?
It's not free. You buy a ticket. It's part of what you get.
Van Woke said that he didn't have to pay anything last year.
Yeah, I paid.
He just
for
freeloaded. It was like that time in Fail's basement when he was drinking like 7 old fashions.
Didn't
and
you
a shot of
the next
Malort?
day?
Yeah, I had Malort too. Don't forget that.
𝗙cie Hawk brings up a good point when we were talking about Iowa and what they haven't done in the portal. Huge get with the assistant coach from Texas Tech.
Yeah,
that was a
coach.
big deal this week when Iowa announced that Luke Barnwell was coming over from Texas Tech. He's been on Grant McCaslin's staff there the last couple of years, went to the Elite Eight. We know how close McCaslin and McCollum are. And I would imagine he's coming in as the top assistant, good recruiter. That's huge. I mean, that's as big, if not bigger, than any piece you could get in the transfer portal for one season.
Having a great staff is maybe the most undervalued thing in all of college basketball.
Yeah.
That fans don't.
And McCaslin has proven that Ross Hodge was his top assistant at North Texas. And he took over at North Texas, and now he's the head coach at West Virginia in just the 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, this guy could be and it would be good for he could be a head coach in a year. Like this dude's going places.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great get. And I am disappointed. I really wanted Matt Gatens to remain on the staff. That's doesn't appear to be happening. I'm very disappointed in that, but you got to give McCollum a chance to do it his way. This is his program. Let's let him do it his way, because everywhere he's been, it's worked.
All right. Well, enjoy Masters weekend. Cheers to the freaking weekend, sitting around sipping your Steeple Ridge bourbon at Augusta.
The Masters.
Tony Finau going to win it.
Tony Finau, where he be now? Oh yeah, I can't wait. Later on today, that Memphis radio guy will be all over your social media feeds with his Masters raps. You know that guy, Williams? Who I'm talking about?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Grind City Media. Every year he has these dancers come in like dressed as bumblebees and
Matt, did we have a super chat that we missed?
Oh no!
Did we? Yeah, we did. Oh, gall gas, no breakfast.
You got to let us know, Matt. You're the producer.
Oh, here it is.
When we get a super chat, we got to do it.
Got the super chat. I was asked to substitute teach at my son's school today. It's a Catholic school, and the class I'm teaching is high school religion. As I started class today, I asked myself, what would the priests at St. Ambrose do?
Let them watch the Masters. Take them to church.
Well, whatever you do, don't ask the kids if you can move in with them. That's my only advice.
Thank you, all gas, no breakfast. We appreciate you. Sorry we missed your super chat. We'll talk to you guys on Monday. Murph and Andy coming up on Friday at 1. You can go and check out that CW pod if you're in the golf mood. My Rory McIlroy biographer. I had one on yesterday. It was really interesting stuff. I enjoyed that immensely. And the new Legends and Listeners just came out this morning here on Iowa Everywhere.